Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, folks, mind me, I'm a little bit poorly, full of cold. But yeah, wanted to come on here and have a good old chinwag. So this is your Leeds versus Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Leeds United preview. A game I'm looking forward to, but also a little bit nervous, I won't lie. It feels like a huge game. A game that I think we should win. I think we should go there to win. But I ain't gonna lie, it's a very, very nervy 3 games now for Leeds United, for us as fans and for Daniel Farke. This is a game on paper that, when fixtures come out and you look at the fixtures, I mean, let's be fair, we all sort of thought Wolves would be one of the teams to struggle, and they are struggling. 4 games, 4 losses, only scored in 1 of the games, conceded in every game. Roll on Leeds United, we usually they seem to sort of change the look of sides when they're in a bad rut, but let's hope to God Leeds United can find the back of the net in this one. We haven't played too bad this season, to be fair. We're just not creating big chances, but please, please, please let Brendan Aronson score, then he can shut this fat lad up, because we just need a goal, don't we? Hopefully DCL can get one as well. But let's get into the chat. You know me, I just want to back and forth with chat, so get your comments in. Give me your thoughts on the week in whole. I found out today, obviously, Dan James and Nonto were big doubts. I've been waxing lyrical about Nonto or James, obviously, starting over Aronson. We now know Aronson's probably going to start on that right-hand side. So I just got to suck it up and back the boys. I'll be there, like I say, in full voice, cheering them on. Hopefully, we can deliver the goods. But yeah, it wasn't great news in press conference to where 2 wingers out. Oh, what a gift for Large Ramazani right now. Anyways, how are you all doing? Let's see who's in. Cesar, hey up. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Danny, smash a like and subscribe, please. I hope Danny, mate. Hope you well. Ian Brown's in as usual. Up the Barca. Hope you well, mate. Ted Garron, Harry Gray, 17 on October 8th. Get him in. Get Aronson out. Oof. Strong words there, Ted. Yeah, no, I'm sure we'll get into Harry Gray in this. And obviously, I've got late night Leeds tomorrow as well with Bosnas and AG. I'm sure we'll get into, it all tomorrow as well. But yeah, Harry Gray is a saying, isn't it? If they're good enough, they're old enough. And I know that'll devise opinion, but yeah, I'd have him in squad if we have a striker like last week when we had Pido not in, late fitness test that he failed, and Metchin obviously were on bench. I would have him on as a third option and just use him in extreme circumstances. But I do believe if you're good enough, you're old enough. Hey up, Angela. Hope you're doing well. 3 points, please, lads. Honestly, this club needs 3 points, and this fan base needs 3 points. It is slightly, I don't want to say turning or toxic, but the fan base is quite evenly split at the minute. I'm being called a Farke hater, and I want Farke out, which I love it when people put words in my mouth, because that's not the case at all. I just start blind to people's shortcomings, and there is some stuff that he does that baffles me at times. There is some stuff that drives me crazy, but don't we all drive each other crazy at times? There's no I want more than Farke to keep us up and stay in his job. Says hey up, mate. Nige, evening, Matty. Hey up, Nige. Hope you well, buddy. Dave76, how you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Someone's bought or buying that top off me that you give me, Dave, and they're donating the money. They've either done it today or they're doing it tomorrow, so thank you very much for that. Rather than raffling it, I've sold it and split money between charities, mate. You're a star. We love you, Matty. Evening, Super League. Hey up, Eddie. Hope you're well. Where's the tash gone? That hey up, son. If it's man flu, that's realistic, mate. I don't know what it is. I'll leave it for now. I won't put that on our last. I don't want her thinking, I'm in a right mess. But yeah, we'll see how we go tomorrow. But it might just creep in like that man flu. Brett 89 but I'm thinking 0-0 or a tight 1-0 either way. Yeah, Brett, I'm very, very similar to that, buddy. I am going to tip a 1-0 Leeds. I'd love us to obviously, like everybody, banging a hat full of goals tomorrow and totally flip it round. But I am sort of leaning towards it's going to be a similar side, if not identical to what we had at Fulham. We will create a few chances, but they may be limited. Hopefully we can put one away and keep them out. But yeah, I could quite easily see it being a 0-0 or 1-0 either way. You bang on with that, Brett. It's my way of thinking that. I hope you're right, Danny. Yeah, man flu 1 Matty 0. Yeah. I'm still here. Sorry if I'm sniffing a little bit and stuff, but yeah, see how we get on. Hey, mate. Matty, if we are to stay up, we need to take advantage. Yeah, you know what it is, right? People say draw at home, don't they? Sorry, draw away, win at home. You're not going to win all your home games. You don't have to. You as long as you win 6 or 7 at home and pick up 3 or 4 away from home, you're somewhere close, aren't you? But what I'll say is, you do have to win some away games. You can't expect to draw every game. You are going to lose loads. You are going to have some games like Fulham where you're playing for a draw, or you take a draw as the games get into the last stages, and something happens and you come away with no. So I do think when you look at it, your Burnleys, your Sunderlands, your West Hams, your Fulham, your Wolves, your Brentfords, there's 5 or 6 away games that you look at and you go, we can do this today. Obviously, you like to think there'll be a couple of big boys we can spank as well. We can take some points off them at home and away. That those free hits that people say, you like to think there's 1 or 2 in there. But when you look at the 4 or 5 winnable away games, this is in there. There's no two words about it. This is in there as a winnable game away from home. I don't think we have to necessarily set up defensively to try and get a point. I think we can go out and attack Wolves. But I really do. I think they're there to be got at. They've conceded a goal in every game. Surely Leeds United are going to continue that vein of form. Mate, up Kershaw, be well, mate. Well on the weekend indeed. Richard, if we get 1 goal, we will get 3 because we will get the call. I could see that happening, Richard. Depends how early the goal is. I'm sort of thinking it'll be a second half goal and we'll hold on. We've seen it past even in Championship. When we used to batter teams, we'd go 2 up and we'd sort of retreat a little bit and keep it tight. So it wouldn't surprise me if we went 1 up in Prem. That we'd sit back a little bit, but I don't mind it. We're really good off the ball. We're good at soaking up pressure. I just think while ever it's 0-0, I don't like that tactic. When we're 1-0 up, if we concede a late equaliser, it's a bit more palatable than it is conceding a late, defeat. So I don't mind it too much, but if we're going to sit back, I want to be sitting back and holding on to a lead, not a 0-0, Sean Healy, 3-0 Wolves, sadly. I just lost, mate. You might have lost confidence, but 3-0, mate. With our defence, I'm really, really happy with defence. I just don't see us conceding 3 goals unless it's obviously 2 one at one's at top of league, Sean. But yeah, let's hope they prove you wrong, mate, because I know you'd love no more to be wrong on that one. I hope Jam. Evening, mate. I hope you're good. I'm gutted for one that those interviewers didn't ask what Farke's favourite colour. Oh, Jam. Honestly, what's his favourite jam? Those questions today in presser were horrible. Berren Cross asked, I think, the only good one. He went quite direct with her. Asked him about his comments on Aronson, James, and maybe Harrison, I think it was. Obviously, when he spoke to me at the end of Fulham game, he spoke about a few players, didn't he? I don't think he should have done that, but we've already gone there and done that. He spoke quite openly about having a lack of quality. Berren Cross put that on his toes and asked him, and he stuttered a little bit for the first few seconds, and then sort of went round houses like he does. But the rest of the questions, Jan, were appalling. In my opinion, it was a shocking press conference. I think from journos and Farke, to be honest. I've seen a few people say it was a good one, but not for me. I don't know where they get questions from. It's like they got them out of Christmas cracker and saved them all year, isn't it? Hey up, folks, here. Eddie says, someone on Facebook earlier said, honestly, right, this isn't a bad shout, and this is a proper wild card, Eddie, and this is something I thought of I spoke about for a week. Seems so wild, but my way of thinking is with this. So imagine playing Justin at right back and playing Bogle at right wing. Now this isn't going to happen, and I know you're not saying it is. He's not going to do anything as drastic as that. But he said, didn't he, about Aronson, if he was as good going forward as he is defensively, he'd be playing for Barcelona, not a newly promoted side, which that sentence, by the way, is Farke's new favourite line in it, if it wasn't already. Newly promoted side. He'll still be saying that next season if he's here, won't he, But look at Bogle. Bogle is better than Aronson defensively because he's a defender, believe it or not. Whoa, he's better than a winger. Wow, of course. But also he can go forward as well as he can defend. So maybe Bogle, Eddie, he'll get signed up for Barcelona. Maybe that's a shout because he is as good going forward as he is defensively. And I tell you what, if he wants a defensive winger, at least Bogle, this is how mad it is. This is how poor Aronson is going forward, right? Bogle would be a more attacking winger. Our fullback, our defender, would be a better winger than Aronson because if he's wanting a defensive winger, he can do everything Aronson can do defensively and better. And he's also twice the player is Aronson going forward as well. So that's a bit of a mad shout because it isn't going to happen. But there's something in it that would probably work. Could you imagine how solid it would be with Justin and Bogle on the right-hand side? And you know Bogle's going to get down that wing and whip some good balls into that box. So, yeah, as wild as it sounds, because it does sound crazy, and we know Farke, he don't live in that world. He don't live in that world at all. That's not in his book of tactics at all. He's probably not even thought about it, Eddie. But it's not a bad shout, mate. It's not a bad shout at all. Brett, maybe you should go 2 up top. The other way isn't getting goals, so it's worth a try. Yeah, there's ways around it, isn't there? 3-5-2 and stuff like that, but I don't think he's going to do it too drastic. Because I think playing that way, you maybe play with 2 wing backs. I wouldn't mind seeing like a free at back or 5, depending how you look at it. With Bogle and Goodmanson obviously going forward wide on at full back, but I just don't think they'll do it because then you're losing your wingers. You could play Okafor just off DCL. You could play Metcha with DCL. I think Pido would be great in a 2. I've always said that. I think everyone sort of sees that. I just don't think it'll happen. It will literally be the exact same side as well at Fulham. It will be. Sebastian, mate. I think Farke was honest during his press conference. Leeds is not doing bad, really defending well. Let's hope they will score. Yeah, they are defending well, but the thing is, for me, there's 2 sides to the game in the defence and attack, and you ain't going to be able to defend your way to safety. For me, Sebastian, you know, we're really solid in 3 games, almost 3 clean sheets. Out of the 4 games, sorry. Took Fulham deep, went 90 minutes, didn't move out conceding at Fulham. So I do think there's something there. I'm 100%. I'm confident in the structure and the way we play. It's just that final bit, but regardless of why he's got the players he's got or hasn't got, he needs to find an answer. And there's a lot worse footballing teams than us with worse personnel who score goals and have scored in Premier League. A lot worse have scored goals in Premier League. So there's no excuse there that it's a poor side. Maybe poor in some people's eyes. It may not have the quality we wanted and hoped for. Maybe we are a couple light, but there's still players in there who can score goals and will score goals. It might just take a bit of time, but has he got time? Has he got time? We do, David. We do. Yeah, Nige, I can't go away from that either. I sort of wouldn't mind it myself at the minute. I think a 5-3-2 would work sound. Harry Gray, get him on set pieces. 3 points would lower the temperature. Kershaw, I think he needs 3 points. People say I've got an agenda. I'm just truthful. I want Daniel Farke to remain as Leeds United boss. I want him to be here. I don't love the guy. I don't love him at all. I've got no emotional connection to him. If I woke up in the morning and he was sacked, I wouldn't be gutted. But I do like him. I don't like him as much as Bielsa, obviously, but I like him more than, Javi Gracia. I like him more than Jesse Marsh. Is without Bielsa, we'd all actually probably adore Farke. I just don't have that connection with him, but I want him to remain here, and I think he's good enough to keep us up. What I will say, to maintain the points per game, 1 point per game, 7 in 7, he has to get a win out of the next 3. I think 3 points out of the next 3 before the international break will keep him in his job. And the people say, give over, Matty. He could lose all 3, 5-0 and he'll still keep his job. Well, I think if you think like that, and even if you didn't chat now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not being awful, but I think you're a bit deluded. Because I've had people say that to me, like we could get spanked for the next 3 games. The 49ers will not sack Daniel Farke. I think you're absolutely mental if you think that. I mean, if we don't win it next 3, that'd mean we've gone 6 without a win, which is mental. 7 if you include cup defeat, embarrassment to Wednesday. But I think a win against Wolves, he can afford to lose the next 2. But I actually think if we can beat Wolves and get off the score, get a goal and get off the scoreline and start looking a bit more threatening up top, I think we can maybe get a point or 3 in the next 2 games. I do. As hard as Bournemouth and Spurs are, I think a win against Wolves, you go bouncing into those home games. And at home, I honestly, I will not tip us for a loss this season. I will not tip us for a loss. I can't do it. because I know on any given day we can turn up and anyone could beat anyone. And at Ellen Road, we can definitely win. So I think if we lose to Wolves, I don't see us getting a win in the next two, I'll be honest. I don't. And I think Farke will get the other two games. But I think if we don't get out, there may be a conversation to, if I'm honest, let's be fair, chat. If he loses his next three, there'll be a lot of people saying something similar. And I don't want it, but I'm just not stupid enough or ignorant enough to ignore it. And that's how I'd say some people are at the minute. But let's hope he can get at least one win out of this three. I don't think that's much to ask, one win in these three games. But Wolves, let's be fair, is the easier one, even though it's away from home. Wolves is the easier game to go win. He goes and wins that. There's a bit of pressure off them for next two. There really is. Yeah, they are, Sean. They are. Sorry if I keep sniffing, honestly, my nose is really bad. I thought the wind had dropped now. Must have been strong enough to blow my stash off. I look awful, though. I'm awful. I look really rough tonight. Evening all, hi, Top Man. I hope you're well. Great news for the top, served its purpose. How much have you raised so far? It's over £1,000 for both, Dave, and I'll be closing it probably back end at weekend and getting money sent off. So yeah, I think it'll be I think it's about maybe 1,010 and 1,030. I think another one. So when he puts 25 and 20, it'll be over 1,000 for both. Anyway, so I'm buzzing with that, Dave. And it was lovely for you to donate that, mate. Legend. Hi, Lucy. Hope you're well. Evening, Matty. Evening all. 3 points at Molineux, please. Just an open play goal would be nice. It would. We'll take 3 points. However, we get them more. We are bothered if it's an own goal. To be honest, give us a goal from their left back. Like give us a Gabby Goodmanson own goal. I'll take it. But yeah, it'd be nice to win the game, play well, which we have been playing well, and get a goal or two. Wouldn't it? It really would be, Lucy. As much as I want us to score from corners, it's not something we do a lot. I just want an open play goal, but I will take it however it comes. Clem, I'm holding judgment on Farke until after the next two games. I'm running out of patience, though, and I like him. Yeah, I'm similar, Clem. You know what I'll say is a lot of people say 10 games. Give it 10 games. Cannot call it till he's had 10 games. Where's his 10 games come from? Someone's literally just gone, yeah, 10 games is about right. Why not 13? Why not 11? Why not 8? Why not 12? 10 games is just a made-up number by someone who's gone, yeah, I think in the law of, I think I'm fucking right, 10 games is a good barometer to go off. Bollocks, it's just a random number, just like 7 games is a random number. And I think if we lose the next 3, I think you can call it on 7. But I hope we don't have to call out on 7. But you get what I mean? Like, people just say 10 games, any time before 10 games is too soon. Says who? You. Like, yeah. I hope to God we get some points in these next few games and we can sort of relax a little bit. If the man flu gets worse, I'll buy you. I'll get your ticket off you. Farke will go with the same team as Fulham. Of course he will, Nige. Of course he will. And Wolves have to get something on the board. They've extended their manager's gone. Yeah, I want to touch on that, Ian. Thanks for bringing that up. So they've extended Pereira's contract. So this is a bit of a funny one. Right, so I don't know what you think of this, but obviously Farke, there is conversations of, I don't know if I believe in Farke, and whether the board are talking about it, the fan base are. I've mentioned it. Other people, some people can't stand Farke. Some people love him, some people can't stand him. Some people are like me and are like, let's hope it works out. What I'll say is they're smack bottom at league. Smack bottom at league. Look shocking. I do tip him to go down. And they've extended his contract. And we're not bottom at league. Have won a game. Look pretty good at times in these games. Looked all right. And there's a conversation brewing about, is he good enough? And, will they sack him? It's mad, isn't it? It's mad when you think of it like that. It's probably more mad, though, that they've extended his contract as opposed to sort of us saying like that. Smash Matty likes, he's ill. Yeah, I'm really poorly. 37 likes, 67 watching. Thanks so much. It's free to hit that like button. It really helps me out. Honestly, the algorithm at the minute, I don't know. People say they're not bothered about numbers, but it is hard when you come on and there isn't as many people watching. It's a strange place as YouTube. But yeah, if you can like, it gets to more people. If you can share it, I think Jack City says tell 10 people or tell 10 people. But yeah, it's the channel's really slowed down in recent weeks, but it has for everyone. But thanks so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. No, folksy. No. It would be good to see Beal with 3 at the back. Yeah, well, I sort of think of that, David, all the time. You think of us going 3 at back with Beal, it makes sense. Beal, Strauch and Rodon with obviously his wing backs. I think it'd work a treat. It's just, then does he drop it? He's having to drop his wingers. I just don't think he does it. But I think we've got the players to play that formation, David. I really do. I'm thinking 2-1 Leeds. Wolves are there for taking. DCL is getting closer to scoring. Let's hope this weekend, this time, we've got to warp, haven't we, mate? We've got to warp. Tickle those likes for Matty. Thanks, Top Banana. Hey up, Mike. I'm Bowley. I'm ill. Too early to lose confidence. Leave a couple more games and we can do it all together. Yeah, Paul, it is early 4 games and we are playing all right. But in 3 games' time, I don't think for 7 games is too early, but let's hope there's no conversation in 3 games' time. Doing a journey there, we need tempo. Yeah, we move ball better, we look a lot better, don't we? I know you would, mate. Yeah, smash a like and subscribe. It costs nothing. Thanks a lot, Kershaw, mate. Are you going to Wolves, Kershaw? Might see you in Concourse again. Good evening, Matty. Hey, Colin, hope you're well. Honestly, I'm really sorry for sniffing. I'm really sorry. It's really, really poorly. I'm a proper bad poorly as well. I last heard me sniffling when I got it from work. She was like, oh, here we go. You were St. Kids. I know. 50 million for Rafinha is unreal. What a steal. It's some baller, isn't it, mate? It's some baller. Hey up, Mr. Hogan. Hope you're doing well. Should Bogle teach Aronson how to be that player? That makes a difference. Yeah, maybe, mate. Hey up, Mr. Blackburn. If Bogle is playing excellently at right back, don't force him to move into a new position. All that would do is kill his form and do nothing for the shape. Well, I disagree. I don't think he'd do anything for his form. I think he'd be brilliant at right wing, but it's a non-starter because he isn't going to move position. It's too drastic change for Farke, but I don't think it'd matter to Bogle at all. He's one of them players who'd slot straight in, mate. His performance won't drop at all, in my opinion, but it won't happen, Mr. Blackburn. It will not happen anyway, and it probably shouldn't happen, but it's a good little conversation for a few, and I've seen it kicking around this week. Oh, did he score, mate? Did he? Yeah, I agree, Ian. I agree. Mitch Hogan. Nonto and James injuries may have been the reason for selection at Fulham. However, I would prefer Harrison over Aronson. I don't know. I mean, Aronson's playing it right. Harrison's not going to play it right. Would they move Okafor over? No. So I think it's got to be Aronson if it's the right-hand side that needs sort of playing in there. But yeah, I think Aronson's the favourite over Harrison anyway. You're completely changed the structure for no real reason. Plus, in possession, we play a back 3 anyway since Ampadu drops in. Goals will come, don't panic. We can't just will them in as fans or Top Banana. We can't just will them in, even though we are trying. Goals not just on the attackers, defence from set pieces, and midfielders need to chip into. Yeah, and I think as season goes on, I think they will. There's a lot of talk about set piece coach coming in, as delivery from free kicks and corners haven't been great, and they're sort of just whipping it into an area, and there's no one really getting the end of them. But I do think as season goes on, if we do get that set piece coach, and things will change. I do expect us to start scoring. At this rate, we're not going to score. At this rate, we're going to struggle to score 20 goals this season. But I do think things will change. I don't think we need to move to a 3 at the back, whether it's a 3-5-2, 5-3-2. Let's not go overcomplicate things. Yeah, there's something in that. Hey up, LA. Hope you're all right. Wolves manager just got a 3-year contract. Wheelers have got no points. Yeah, I suppose I looked at that earlier, LA. The only thing I can think with that is he came in, and I think they were 19th or 20th last season, and he came in his stewardship and he kept him at safety. So there's obviously something there. He's obviously doing well on the training pitch, and his ideas are there. It's just for some reason this season's not quite worked out for him. But they'll be by West Ham, I think, but they played some alright sides as well this season. It's one of them things where they're probably back him to get out of the rut. He's obviously doing something right to get a 3-year contract when you smack bottom of the league. It's a bit of a rarity that happens, but fair play to him. Was interesting. Farke talking about long throws. He said you have to do all you can, but we still have stacked taking corners. Yeah, that's got to change, isn't it? That's got to change. If he's the best one delivering it, then I understand it. But for me, I think you can get someone else to put a ball into an area. I ain't gonna lie. Ian Brown, if you beat Wolves, lose Spurs and Cherries, you're still averaging a point. That's where I'm going with it, Ian. That's where I'm going. 1 win out of those 3, and we're still on 7 for 7, which will be enough, I think, to keep him in his job. I think if we lose all of them and we're on 4 for 7, I think then there'll be a conversation. One sec, let me just blow my nose. This is ridiculous. Oh, this is ridiculous. Wait till I start bloody sneezing. Oh, imagine not having man flu. Imagine not having man flu. Feeling so shite. Oh, God. I'm a delight. Joe B, it would give Ampadu and Co more license to push forward, and Bogan and Goodmanson would be great. I fear for Bournemouth more than Spurs, plus Spurs are away in Europe. Yeah, I mean, that is something. When you look at it, I have said it numerous times on this channel, Eddie, that 8, 9 teams in Europe this season does give an advantage in some game weeks to sides a bit further down the table, and that has to be, something we tap into as Leeds fans for a bit of hope and a bit of confidence there. There's something in that. I mean, Bournemouth are a class side. I think Bournemouth will be a struggle, but I do think if we beat Wolves, we may get something out of the next 2. It might be a point, might be 2 points. We might get 1 win, might win all bloody 3. Then what? And then I look right idiot, won't I? But yeah, the Wolves one's the one in it. The Wolves one is the one. We lose that, and if we lose it poorly as well, we don't turn up, then it will look really, really ropey for everyone. I'm good, Rich. Hope you're all right, mate. Leeds are more likely to lose to Wolves and beat Spurs and Bournemouth. Yeah, it'd be very Leedsy, wouldn't it? Skip, hiya, buddy. I don't like your picture changing, mate. I like get back for me, Skip. You know what I'm like. Hope you're well, mate. Call me pessimistic, but I struggle to see where our goals come from. Teams will set up against us more attacking because they know we struggle to create. Yeah, I agree. The only thing we can do is just sort of do it now and get that monkey off us back. What I'll say is, like, as much as we're looking, Skip, forward to playing Wolves, thinking, as an away game goes, playing bottom of league, it's the best away game we could hope for now. So that's why I think it's a winnable game. They will also be looking at Leeds United coming and going, now we'll win this. We're at home at Leeds United. They can't score a goal for toffee. So they'll also be looking at it from that standpoint, and they'll stifle as much as they can, knowing probably the blueprint is if you can keep it 0-0, get into the second half, and then they can start upping that pressure, bringing on some more Premier League sort of level players off that bench and do a similar to Fulham. So we've just got to hang in there. We have got to hope for a bit of luck. We have got to hope for a little bit of luck, as well. Like I say, that was dead unlucky against Fulham. What I will say, there was a lot of people, obviously rightly bringing up the Fulham game as it was a freak accident, a freak incident. Sorry, never happen again. 99 times out of 100, it just don't go in, basically. So we got really unlucky. But then again, on opening day against Everton, we got really lucky. If that's 3 inch to left or 3 inch to right, it's not a penalty. Some could say it wasn't a penalty anyway. So then you lose 2 points, and that ends up being a draw. Do you know what I mean? Then we're really mud out with what we then down to 2 points. So, you make your own luck, and over the season you think it levels out. So that's how I sort of see it. We got a little bit lucky on opening day. Thank God we did, because imagine where we'd be now if we drawn that opening day and not scored at all. That'd be 4 games with no goals and only 2 points in 4. So luckily, Lady Luck were on our side opening day against Everton, and it wasn't against Fulham. But hopefully, going forward, we'll have a bit more. Hey up, Mr. Whitesnake. Stick mess up front, yeah. 10 games is 25% of the season. Yeah, he's right. Pretty much, innit? Pretty much. Second international break is a decent spot to judge, so anyone new, if needed, would have a chance to have an impact in the break and gets a jam window. Wouldn't need you before them, though. Second international break. Well, that's what this is, isn't it? So these 3 at the end of these 3 games, Joe, is that what you're saying? Yeah. I agree with that. I agree. If we lose to Wolves, I wouldn't be chopping. I think he's got 3 games now to get 3 points. That's how I see it, in my opinion. I think that's how they'll look at it. If he goes through these 3 and we get 0 points, I would be shocked if he's still got a job. And then I'd probably lean into it being financial, that they can't get rid of him, being close to PSR and money and all that. To pay him off and bring someone else in. I'd probably put it out there. I'd be gobsmacked if he's still got a job if he gets less than 3 points. Even if he gets a point or maybe 2. I think he needs 3 points, which I think 3 points in 3 games, it's only 1 win, 2 losses. I don't think that's much to ask. The level of opposition seems tough for 2 of them. So go win this one. Go win this one. 10 games and no wins and we could have too much ground to make up. Yeah, no, you can. I mean, one win, haven't we already? But it can easily get away from you. So I mean, it's vital we win this one. I think Kershaw. I like Farke. We all want to do well, and if he is still here at the end of the season, we'll have survived. But I understand people are indifferent. Yeah, he's just one of them. You know, he made some decisions, doesn't he? That he's made some decisions, and like people always bring it back. You've got Ramazani this season. You've got Charlie Cresswell. You know, you've got a lot of stuff, but then on the other hand, you've also got, you know, the way he dealt with the Willie Onto situation. You know, there's been the way he's, you know, being able to integrate an Aaronson and Harrison back, regardless of how fans like it. He's managed to get them back into a squad, a harmonious group. It hasn't upset the apple cart. So I aren't stupid and I aren't vicious or like that, or have any sort of bad ill feeling to anyone, especially looking Leeds United manager. But I can just see both sides. I'm just quite level-headed, where some people just think I'm Farke out. I'm not at all. I'm just level-headed and I can see both sides. You know, it frustrates the fucking life out of me sometimes. And then other times I think fair play, you've caught well there. Man management, I think he's fucked some stuff up. Man management, I think he's nailed some stuff. You know, I aren't just one of these who goes, he's right all the time. Just because he's Leeds United football manager don't mean he knows everything. Don't mean he's right all the time. He knows more than me, but don't mean he gets every decision right. How many times as a football fan do you go, I could have put a better lineup than that out? And 99 times out of 100, could you fuck? But that one time, maybe you were right. Maybe that sub that you called on 65th minute that he chose not to do would have been the right call. Like, you know, we're not managers and we're not know-it-alls, but now and again, you know, we do watch the game. We do know what we're talking about a little bit. Just because he's the manager doesn't mean every single decision Farke does is bang on. Don't mean every single decision any manager does is absolutely bang on. It just don't. But he's doing an all right job this season, and he's done an impeccable job last 2 seasons. Must have watched it. Pep mentioned it, and so did Howard Wilkinson back in the day. The 10-game thing. Gio brought it up the other night. I understand both sides. Yeah, the 10-game thing. Like I say, it's not. It's just a number, isn't it? Whether it's Howard Wilkinson or Pep, it's just a number. They're just guys. They're just human beings like me and you, Mr. Whitesnake. Not special in my eyes. Just human beings who know the football stuff. And yeah, did really well in their profession. But they're just human beings. 10 games. It's just rule of thumb, innit? It means fuck all. 9 games or 11 games. Why 10? If it don't feel right, it don't feel right. If you lose your first 6 games 4-0, do you deserve to keep your manager? Because it's not 10 games. I don't believe you do. Leeds was competitive against Everton, Newcastle and Fulham. Only issue was scoring goals, but they continue to... Yeah, competitive. We are, mate. There's no two ways about it. We are super competitive, and I love that about us. And we knew we were getting that, Sebastian. We knew we were getting that from transfer window. Yeah, we knew it. What's up with YouTube at the moment? Hearing a lot of people saying it. Go check out Joe Blackburn. Did a video on it a couple of days ago, Willie. They've just changed algorithm. They've totally changed algorithm. So, like usually now, I've got 62 people watching currently. This would normally be about 140. So it's just not recommending. So the people obviously who've got the notification bells on will get notified I'm on. People who haven't probably won't, unless they've seen it scrolling through. But it's not recommending to the others. So like I think in the last up until 2 weeks ago, in a month period, I'd gained like 600 subscribers, which were brilliant. And last 3 weeks, I think I've lost 2. Like I've gone down 2 in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's just there's no growth at the minute, and the numbers are down. But like I say, I don't do this for money. I don't earn much on YouTube. It's just not nice to see numbers drop. But that's not down to anything anyone else is doing. I hope it's not down to my content. It's just a case of the algorithms change, so it's only pushing certain stuff. But when it comes to knowing more about it, Mr. Blackburn's your man. Something about ad blockers and all this, I don't really understand it, to be honest. But yeah, it's not good for us all. Luckily, I don't rely on it as a wage, so I'm okay. But the people who do, who are friends of mine, it's a bit of a worry. Will I be happy with a draw at Wolves? Depends, mate. It's hard to say. If we draw at Wolves, it's hard because I don't see us definitely winning 1/2. We can do because it's at home, and you know we can, but I will be worried. But it depends how the game goes. You know, a last minute equaliser, calling you through. You're over the moon, aren't you? Depends. Boring 0-0, sitting back, not creating much. I'll be frustrated. I won't lie. So it depends on context of how we get it. I don't think a point's enough, Colin. I don't. But like I say, it depends how we get it. But if you offered me a point now, I would turn it away. I would risk a singular point to try and win 3 on this particular occasion. Give me a point against Bournemouth, a point against Spurs. I'd probably shake your hand now when we call it a draw. But I think Wolves, I gamble that point currently for Saturday for 3. I definitely would. Prospects of getting Jose if required. Nah, he's gone, hasn't he? He's gone. Benfica. Evening, Boss Nass. Hope you're well. 100 likes, and I'll say I'm Farking, it makes sense. 63 likes, 63 people watching. That's brilliant. Thanks so much. If there's anyone watching who hasn't liked, stick a like on it. Tickle those likes on my chair, top banana. Kershaw, couldn't get Wolves tickets, pal, but see you at the Bournemouth game. Legend, mate. No worries, pal. Also, in your opinion, Mate, how do we get Tanaka back into the starting lineup? It's a tough one. That midfield's a tough one. In my opinion, obviously, you come here for sort of my opinion. I'm not the oracle. I don't know everything. But my opinion is I would rather play Tanaka than Longstaff, which sounds wild, but I don't. Is it wild? I ain't saying play fucking, Harry Gray in fucking number 8 role, am I? Yeah, I'd rather have Tanaka than Longstaff. I think Longstaff's been brilliant in his last 2 games. Probably man at match, potentially both of them. But I just think Tanaka's too good to leave on bench. I sort of, before Longstaff came in against Newcastle, I sort of thought Longstaff would be the bench option, even though he's got the nice number 8 jersey. And even though he's a Prem player, and Tanaka isn't proven, I just think when you're lacking creativity, it seems criminal to leave someone like Tanaka on bench. But there'll be people say, Longstaff away from home, Tanaka at home. But when's Farke going to do that? When's Farke going to rotate? He should do if he's got the players there. The midfield's probably one place we can rotate, Kershaw. We've got decent numbers there, and you could rotate a Longstaff stack, and Tanaka. You could rotate them 3. They're all decent players. But I would have that going forward as Tanaka as a starter and Longstaff on bench. Although, yeah, that's how I'd say it, Kershaw. In my preference, that's what it would be. But I aren't bothered either. It's a tough one because then Longstaff's too good to keep out as well, isn't he? I hope so, mate. I hope so. Yeah, hype. You can hype a video too. I think that helps, Ellie. So you get 3 a day, I think, to hype. So yeah, hype away if you can. I think you can only hype once the video's posted, not while it's live. I think that's right. A lot of people probably don't want to hype or like my videos though, because I've been getting quite a bit of backlash recently. I've been getting quite a bit. I just speak my mind. Who will be Leeds' top goal scorer this season? My guess is Goodmanson. You bugger. I think DCL. will be top goal scorer on about 2. Nah. I think DCL, and I think he'll get 8 or 9. But then we need as wingers to chip in with 5 or 6 and a couple from midfield and centre half. Strouk's usually good for 3 or 4. Yeah, that's how I see it. Hey up, Colin. Calvert-Lewin has always been at his best with a strike partner to score off. He's never scored as a lone striker, and that's how we are playing. Yeah, it's and Pirot's same. You look at Pirot, and yeah, at Champ, he was all right up top on his own. But I do look at a few of our players, Colin, and think they'd be better suited as a 2. But then I just don't think he's going to change formation where then you lose your wingers as well, Just don't think he's going to. I love you, Mr. Whitesnake. I love you a bit, man. What a guy. Brett, I think Bournemouth is a tougher game than Spurs. Can see a yeah, I mean, I'm probably leaning at that now. I wasn't to start with, but I think they're equally as tough. But the fact that Spurs play in the Champions League midweek, maybe that has something to do with it, Brett. But let's not, let's not forget they've got Richarlison up top. They've got Xavi Simons out on wing. They've got some ballers of Spurs. They're going to be well hard to beat. What I'll say is Bournemouth and Spurs, they'll come and have a go, won't they? They'll come and play football, you'd imagine. So, maybe that'll play into our favour. Yeah, folks, I've got a feeling Harrison starts against Wolves. Farke said he's knocking on the door for a start. What do you think about that? Well, if Harrison's playing up right, folks, and he starts Harrison on left, then I might just not even go to my seat. I might just stay downstairs in bar. Yeah, I mean, Okafor's not saying world alike, but he looks a creative spark. He's trying to beat a man. He's a bit more direct. Yeah, I mean, I haven't hated Harrison. I thought he's done all right this season. I just think it's a really bad message if you've got to start Aronson and Harrison. I think if you're forced to start Aronson, you need to offer something else on that left-hand side for me. So Okafor starts on left. But, yeah, I mean, let's be fair. With a couple of injuries potentially in Nottingham and James, if they are out, Harrison's coming on at 65th, 70th minute in it, regardless of winning or losing or drawing. But I would like Okafor to start. What happened, folks? I don't think it'll happen, mate. But I mean, he's as good centrally. He said he don't want to play there though. Not that means anything, but I think in this case it probably does. Though. I can also see he's going back to a 4-2-3-1 for Farke. I mean, I have said this. Farke knows the formation. You know, his formation's used all his career pretty much 4-2-3-1. The problem is because we never got a 10, you're relying on a Tanaka, an Aronson, a Pirro to play there. And we've seen that experiment before, haven't we? You know, square pegs round holes. I don't think he'll go there for that reason. If we bring it, maybe we're bringing a 10 in January, and that's something we look at. I do think a 4-2-3-1 would help in certain games. I think the 4-3-3 is great for keeping it tight. I think at home, there'll be 5, 6, 7 games where we just go for it as a 4-2-3-1, in my opinion. But like I say, he ain't got all the tools. I am up for all the next 3 games. I think we will beat Wolves and be underestimated. I hope so. You're up for it. We need to get you in dressing room, get them pumped up then, Richard. Play Harrison. Birthday tomorrow, beat Wolves Saturday, recovered on Sunday, top weekend. Top Banana, happy chuffing birthday to you, my friend. You're a top guy. Always in here giving you love, and I'm giving you my love. Happy birthday, buddy, for tomorrow. 25 years of age, I heard. Well done. The home games are massive. We can make it a we don't lose at home. Yeah, I think so, Mr. White, that you know, we're already two games there. Everton and Newcastle, tough opponents. 4 points. Already making it a bit of a fortress. A fortress won't mean, you know, we're going unbeaten. But we can make it as bloody hard as we can, though, can't we? And take that run for as long as we can. And there's definitely something in that. You know, I think we need to get 75% of our points away at Ellen Road. And I fully expect us to do that. Can't believe how poor I am. Joe Blackburn. I mean, that still feels harsh, to be fair, because you look at the performances, not just points. If we look crap in the 3, then maybe. But if we come out of it with 2 draws and an unlucky loss, I won't be mad. No, you might not be mad. But is it enough for 49ers? That's how I'm sort of looking at it. I think you're throwing a spin on it there, aren't you? If, you know, the context is 2 points. If I'm saying 3's enough, is 2 points almost enough if they play well? Potentially. Of course it could be. I don't think going into the second international break under the points per game, 1 point per game, will look good in the 49ers' eyes. Say what you want about Nuno, is there. You know, in my eyes, Nuno would keep Leeds up. Farke can keep Leeds up, could keep Leeds up. Farke will keep Leeds up. But, you know, there's nothing to say while ever someone like Nuno's available, even if, you know, whether he comes to Leeds or not. There's nothing to say that, you know, the 49ers will have more trust in someone like that. With what he's done in the Premier League, because he's done well in the Prem. Farke hasn't. Context is blah blah blah. We know, but yeah, it's hard to disagree with that, Joe. It depends on performance, but ultimately comes down to points. We played really well at Fulham. We lost. Who gives a shit? 0 points. We play really well all season. We end 18th. We're relegated. No one will look back as we kick in for Championship football around the Championship field next season, going, yeah, it's not fair this though, because we played really well last season. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's context and, you know, depends how well you play, but ultimately it comes down to points and they will be ruthless. It's all about numbers in their world. All about numbers, financial numbers, points to stay up. It's all about numbers and percentages and if they feel it's slipping away, I think they will be ruthless. But, yeah, I think 3 points is what he needs. I think 2 points and 3 good performances might be enough, Joe. And let's hope it is. Let's hope it is, because I'll tell you one thing, the grass isn't always greener. I know that. Well, we know that as Leeds fans. You know, I can't say, other than just saying like an idiot, oh, Nuno's available, you know, I can't say who's available. I can't say who Leeds can go get. So I ain't going to say Sat Farke, because other than Nuno, who may not even want the job anyway, I can't honestly tell you who I'd have. So it's a bit naive of me to say, Sat Farke. What I can say is, you know, if it gets to that point, I'll come on and say I've lost faith in Farke, which I haven't yet, but that's probably where I'll go with it. I don't want to be coming on here saying Stuck Farke and all the motive and stuff. It would just be a case of I've lost faith in Farke and how the board need to act, you know, but I haven't got an alternative really. And the luck you had on Saturday and Burnley got on Sunday, smacks of the luck relegated teams get. Sunderland 0, Charlton 3, we conceded 3 on goals in 6 minutes. Yeah, maybe it's still too early. Like I say, we got lucky on opening day as well, so it's not always going to be bad luck, Steve. It's too early for me to sort of go along with that narrative that, you know, it's relegation. And what I'll say is, if we don't win the next 3, you know, that'd be one win in 7. That would be relegation form. But I fully expect us to get 3 or 4 points anyway. So we will talk about it then. 2 points from 3 and he'll survive, in my opinion. Draws will feel like wins at the moment. Yeah, potentially, Paul. Potentially, like I say, Joe's bang on with that, and so are you, mate. There's something in that. We think things are bad. Just look at the state of that red lot in Manchester. Yeah, they're shocking, aren't they, mate? They are shocking. It's like the fan yelling, kick it long, and the player looking up and yelling back, thanks. Rafinha always plays well. Rashford has a chance to impress now with Lamal's injury. Yeah. Yeah, it might be. But if you get rid of Farke, do you genuinely think you have enough quality in your squad for the next person to walk in? Work with, sorry. Maybe not. But what option have you got? You can't sack out players. You can't sack the board. The board aren't going to sack themselves. There's only one man you can sack to try and get a change, isn't there? I'll be honest with you, yeah. I don't go along with the we are absolutely shit as a team. Like I don't go along with it. I don't go along with it at all. If we'd have signed Pajau, we'd have had a quality winger in. Would that have made the difference? People tell me, of course it would, Matt. Stop being a dickhead. But does that mean we're a one-man team if he's there? Does that mean rest of them are shy? No, it don't. Maybe he'd have been able to unlock defences and get the ball to DCL and it'd have improved everyone's game. They'd have all lifted, who knows? But this team isn't shy. It isn't shy. You know, we're the best team in the Championship. There's been teams come up and do well from the Championship. We've brought in players. Some of them are, have injury worries. Some of them are free transfers. Some of them haven't done no in a few years. All this shit. There's still talent in that squad. He's missing one or two potentially. But there's loads of teams in Prem missing one or two. There's only Sunderland, in my opinion, and Liverpool that got all the bloody targets. If people hype your videos, it push your channel out more too. Yeah, I think so, Rich. Yeah, so hype away, please. Hype away. 68 likes, 64 watching. Get in. Class, thank you so much. Got notifications on, but still didn't get notification. That's not good. That's not good. Yeah, sound. Hey up, Hutchkins, hope you're well, mate. I'm off to bed, work tomorrow Friday. See you later, Arthur, mate. I got my job back, Muppets. You absolute toilet wilder. What are you doing on my screen? Funny. Home games are where we can get something. I think we can beat either Bournemouth. Yeah, I mean, I think we can. I think if we get beat by Wolves, it becomes more difficult. Beat Wolves and I'll be backing us in those games, 100%. 100%. Ellie, check me out. Thanks, Ellie. Can also answer any of my the YouTube questions right now if you need. There you go. A little bit of networking there, Mr. B. Must be aiming to get max points from these games. Yes, we lost against Burnley, but we are making up for it, learning from negative experiences. I've never known another fan like you, mate. You absolutely love Leeds. Are you Leeds in disguise? Are you Leeds in disguise? Ian Brown. Must be aiming to get max point. Oh, I've just read that on exactly the same. What are you doing? I knew that would miss me. Richard Stack could score some goals if he was in the box and not Tingle. Yeah, potentially. I do think they need to sort the whole set pieces out. I do think he's all right at his delivery is Stack, but I don't think he's like outstandingly better than what anybody else could do. And I think him being in box would just sort of elevate the percentage chance of him scoring, to be honest. I wish I could tell you honestly, all bits I've been trying to look into, but a lot of shifts are things that YouTube just don't. Yeah, they don't tell us out, do they, mate? They're not bothered. They're not bothered. But it's definitely changed, and numbers for everybody is absolutely pants at the minute. But we carry on for the people that want to watch, and we appreciate you all. It is class, but still class. Hey up, Nick. I fancy us to get a positive result Saturday. Yeah, I think we all do. I think we all know it's a must not lose for me. It is a must not lose, I would say. Although no changes if we do lose in terms of anything happening in the club. Joey B, draws won't keep us up, mate. We need to start setting up to attack. We did verse 7. Thing is with that, Sean, apart from a positive message, a more, a message to players to go play with a bit of freedom and go for the win. In terms of, going more attacking, if we haven't got Nonto and James in, that does restrict us, doesn't it? I mean, this is a game where I probably can't go along with that. Fulham, I were quite angry that he played Aronson. Nonto wasn't going to get any minutes if it wasn't for the injury to Dan James, and he got charity minutes. I was quite angry at the way he sort of set up, even though we played quite well and we created some chances. I still feel like that last half an hour, we could have gone and got something. Could have gone and got a goal. I think in this one, it's hard to even look like that because we've got two attacking-minded players out, Richard Hogan. Tactically, we play a 4-2-3-1 at home in games and get after the opposition and try to take the lead. Then you can switch to a 4-3-3. Yeah, I agree with that. I think even if we stay as a 4-3-3, Richard, but we can get that first goal. I think the way we play, the way Farke sets us up, off the ball, the endeavour, the work rate they've got as a team. I genuinely think if we can get that first goal, I'd actually tip us to win the game, or at least not lose it, because I just think his defence is sound, even though technically it's the second worst in the league statistically, which is what matters come the end of the season. But right now, it's a solid side that are really hard to score against. So yeah, if we can get that first goal, it stands in good stead to come away with something. On the inside training vid, they showed Harrison score. They then showed him leave Aronson for dead in the sprint. Got to wonder whether that. Yeah, they do this a lot, don't they? They do this a lot. I haven't watched that. I'd seen it come up early, but I didn't click on it. So yeah, I can see that. You know, it's happened before. The media, they put people in the drip feed what they want to get to fans to sort of win them round and stuff. I mean, he's already, you know, he ain't getting booed anymore. I don't know how much they do that now. Definitely pre-season, he were in a lot of footage, wasn't he? But yeah, wouldn't surprise me. And they've got two wingers possibly out. Harrison's got a big chance of starting. He has. 59, but cheers, my 24. I think Pinot at home could be interesting as a second striker. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind him playing at times. People didn't like him in 10. I didn't mind him. It can be quite neat and tidy in there, dropping deep to pick ball up. I think as a striker, lone striker at this level, it's too much for him. I think in Championship it can do it because of how good we were as a side and create that many chances. Ultimately, he's going to take them. I think in Prem it's so much difficult for him, you know. And when he's dropping deep and he does get the ball, he's got so much work to do against, you know, world-class opposition, world-class big, strong centre-half to try and beat on his own, you know. That's why I think he needs to be a Metro or a DCL. But it is bad because if you know, Metro and DCL are 1 and 2 and they stay relatively fit and Pinot don't get many minutes, it looks like a bad move this season in terms of keeping hold of him. There's a few players like that, you know, if Kruev didn't get many minutes, although it already looks like he's going with injuries to Hampadu, which happened quite a lot. But you look at it and you go, Bornau, is he going to get many minutes? Probably not. Biol, I do think he'll come back in. You know, Justin, Pirro, Gruev, there's a few you look at and go, you could have got some money for these. You could have maybe not signed these and saved money. But they are squad players and you need a squad. So again, that's my balance. You know, you look at it and go, if they're not needed, there's a lot of money sat there. What could have gone into something that were needed, but you'd never know if they are needed. That's the issue, and you need a squad. That's the balance, you see. That's the balance. You saying 2 draws and an unlucky loss, that's not winning, Joe B. Farke is too afraid of being sacked because he knows he won't manage in the Prem again. Oh, Healy going in. If we get 7 points out of the next 5 games, Farke will definitely keep job for the season. Again, Rich, for the season, that's a massive statement. I think you're going to have to just take it in clusters of games. Yeah, that if he gets 7 points out of the next 5, then fair enough. You know, we're happy with that. But like, you've got to look at it in terms. You know, you say that next 5 games, that takes us to what, 9 games, and then after that, if we lose 6 on bounce. You know, are you saying after 15 games he ain't liable for sacking if he's lost 6-4-0? Like, I don't think you can always say that, Rich. I think, you know, we look at under Bielsa, everything were all right, and then we hit a month. Like, we had a really, really shit month where we lost, 4 or 5 games in a row, 3-0, 5-0, fucking 6-0, and they were against top big boys. And then we had a really easy month coming up, but they still pulled plug. I know we're different ownership, but I think it just comes down, you know, everything can be, you know, hunky-dory, and then you can hit a spell of maybe 4 games where it just goes south, and that can be enough to relieve you of your duty if you're not that far in front. So, yeah, I hope he is in for season, but I don't agree with, you know, whatever, if we do well at next 5, if we win next 5, you know, if we then lose next 6, it pulls us back down, doesn't it? So I think you'd only a poor run of 3 or 4 games away as a newly promoted side from these conversations happening, which is sad. I just can't wait for us to establish survive, establish yourself, whether that's Farke or someone else, and then stop looking over the shoulder, because we are going to be looking over the shoulder all season. We're going to be looking over the shoulder probably next season. And then, yeah, just sort of look at Fulham. You know, teams like that now. Fulham don't have to look over the shoulder now, do they? They just don't. You know, Bournemouth, they're a bit better than Fulham, I would say. But, you know, these sides now who a poor season's probably 12th, 13th. You know, good season, they're pushing top 8. You know, that's where we should be. You know, that's where we should be as the historical, massive, huge sleeping giant that we've been for many years. But we need to show that on the pitch, and we need to show that in the way the club operate, and that's where hopefully we'll be in about 3 or 4 years' time. Southgate could be a shout. Did well with what for Leeds? No, thank you. Yeah, but I'm not saying we're setting up to draw these, Sean. I'm saying if we play Blood and Thunder and then deserve more than we get, that isn't grounds for sacking. Hope you've got use a song teed up for the big ending, Matty lad. And actually. Oh, I've got loaded on here. I've got my song Chris and Kev, White and Gold. I think March on together. I've took that one off. No, March on together. Yeah. I might play one of them. We'll see. Farke has to find a way to stay up. This will be his best Premier League. Yeah, I agree. For me, Farke won't get a Premier League job. He'll get a top-end Championship club job, and then he can take him into Premier League. I doubt he'd ever get a job straight into Prem, unless he smashes it now at Leeds and you know, later on in his career he has opportunity. But sounds like you have a bit of a runny nose. Look after yourself. Yeah, sorry, I'm probably really annoying you. I think I sniff quite a lot in general. I've had a few comments saying I sniff too much. It's just a bit of a habit. I've got a few tics, as you probably see when we're little winks now and again. I've got tics and all sorts. I'm a bit of a weird one. I always have had. But this sniffle tonight, I'm sorry, it probably doesn't sound good on mic. I'm really struggling, but I really wanted to come on today and have a chat. But yeah, I'm really not too well. Where does Pinot fit in now? Is he done? Now will he be starting Saturday? He might. I think he's done in a starting capacity, folks. While ever the other two are fit, the problem is with the other two, they ain't going to be fit all season. I wouldn't assume. So I think he'll get games. But I think coming on as a late sub, we've seen it work at the beginning of last year. I think coming on as a late sub when we need a goal. Or we need something a little bit different up there. So yeah, I think he'll play minutes. I still expect him to come on most games if he's on the bench. Farke does like him. I can't see him sitting on bench and not getting game time. But I don't think he's a starter. White's forever. Steve, I think Tanaka could play being the front in a 10 position. He's played similar job. I think Tanaka could play 10. 100%. 100%. I don't think we play him as a 10 though, but I think he could play 10. I wanted to see him there at times last season, but it never happened. So I just don't see it happening in Prem. Really apologise, guys. Really do. Pinot probably only starts at home. Yeah, potentially. If Farke gets sacked, our new manager will want players in Jan. Will your owners be willing to back him? Yeah, well, that's it, innit? I think to bring someone in Jan, Steve, we've got to sell. So it's a difficult one. I have hyped the site 4 times, which shows, thanks, Steve. You're a legend, man. Thank you. Yeah, you can be my hype man. I can't. I don't think you can do it when it's live. Paul, our defence and midfield is good enough subject to injuries. Still early to judge. Keepers up front, they may yet improve. Yeah, I think they will. I think DCL improves, and the goalkeeper's an interesting one, isn't it? See how well Darlow does on Saturday. If Darlow does really well, then will he stay in ahead of Perry? We have a good record at Wolves. We do, mate. We do. Okay, so you can see. Legends. Foster, 13, starts at Molineux on Saturday. You know that first Harry Gray goal the other day? Did anyone notice? Anyone who saw Creators Cup, my goal link, Content Creators Cup? Anybody notice it were pretty much identical to my goal? Pretty much identical. Lockie plays a beautiful through ball to JT, who squares it for big man to tap in. And that was very, very similar to Harry Gray's first goal over there. James Aronson, Okafor, Nonto. What's the point? There isn't anyone up front to receive. Cross forwards are too slow. Yeah, Patrick, I mean, yeah, there's no blistering pace up there. I just believe in DCL when he gets fit. It's something I do believe in. I do think he'll end up being a good season signing, and I don't mind Metcha. I'm willing to give him the benefit of doubt, to be fair. Play the 3-5-2. Would be happy with Harrison and Okafor on Saturday. Not overly worried about which side they play on, but both should start. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll go Harrison. I don't think they'll move. They won't play Harrison at right, Richard, will they? And they won't play Okafor on right. So I think Okafor starts on left, which means Harrison plays on right. Colin, got our faith in Pirro, has been our main man. Yeah, I just think it's just difficult in this division. I did say this in pre-season. I think he'll get 8-9 goals, Pirro. Obviously, that's subject to minutes. If he can get many minutes, it's probably not going to happen for him. But he's definitely got something to give. I think off the bench capacity. I do like him though. If not done already, please tickle those likes for that. Yeah, thanks so much. Honestly, 61 watching now, and I've got 70 likes, which is brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm going to start saying that as well. Like, hype, and tell 10 people to tell 10 people. I love that. I heard Jack say it last week. I mean, go on, I love that. Tell 10 people to tell 10 people. Pirro was a finisher, and I think we need to keep him, even if he only scored 5 or 6. They could. Yeah, Richard, I think this season, 100%. I just think if he doesn't play many minutes, it could be a bit of an opportunity lost. If you look at, we needed to sell really to buy. When we got to that 100 million, 10 players, they didn't really sacrifice anybody like Sunderland have. Sunderland have sacrificed players, got rid of players. Leeds have loaned a couple out, but we didn't really sacrifice anybody. We couldn't even sell Melier, which is not how much of a shock that is. But it probably looks like we needed to sacrifice 1 or 2 to improve the squad. If you'd have sold Pirro but signed Demirovic, yeah, I'm not saying we would have done, but do you know what I mean? You sort of look at that. Maybe that could have facilitated that move. Facilitated. Get in. I can't have said that first time. Get up. Harrison, DCL, Okafor, get the service into DCL and he'll score. Yeah, we've got to believe in that, haven't we? Shawnee, I'm off to bed up early tomorrow for work. No, Sean. No, you just said you're my hype man and now you want to bed. What are you doing? I won't be on much too longer. About another hour. Joking. Night, Sean. Have a good one, buddy. Sleep well. Richard Hogan, Bielsa lost 4-2 at home to Scum, 7-0 to City midweek, and 4-0 home at Spurs on the Saturday. It was inevitable after those results, unfortunately. Yeah, but before that, it wasn't too bad. I think after those results, we were 15 for still winning relegation zone. But yeah, you are right in what you're saying. Kershaw, because Farke couldn't bring us up. Farke could bring us up if relegated. Do you think the owners will give him more leniency, credit in the back? No, I don't, mate. I don't, because as much as I agree with that. If we go down, Farke would bring us straight back up, or would have a high possibility of coming back up. I don't think they want to. Obviously, they don't want to go down. So I don't think they will. I think they'll. Never know. Might know Chris Wilder may sack Farke, bring someone else in, get relegated, and reinstate Farke. But no, I don't think I don't think they'll even think of that, Kershaw. But you are right in what you're saying. I think the percentage of coming back up if Farke as your manager goes up, doesn't it? Mr. Presser earlier, who is out, who is in for? You've probably already got people in comments, but Paul Smith, James, and Nonto are doubts, massive doubts. By it sounds of it, neither of them play for me. And Perry's still out for one more game, and that's it, really. I need to get little girl to bed. Can't find hype option. We'll try tomorrow. Thanks for the awesome discussion. LA, thank you so much. It's fine, love. Getting off to bed and take care. Have a good night, and I'll speak to you later on. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. Much love to you all. Cheers, Mr. Whitesnake. Anyone who's getting off now, back for late night Leeds tomorrow at 10. Please make sure you've got your notifications on for that. Mr. Whitesnake's poem. Mr. Whitesnake writes is on tomorrow night. So I know you'll all be back for that, hopefully. Tanaka is a proper Celtic player. He ain't leaving us just yet. I would also like to say to all you're all amazing, awesome people, and you're not alone. Love that, Rich. Love that, mate. Richard, don't apologise for being ill. You're still turned up in the measure of the man top blow. Thanks, Richard, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not well at all, but yeah, I still wanted to do this. You know what I mean? This is my hobby. I love it. I don't do as many lives as I probably used to, I used to do maybe five a week at one point. Doing a lot of shorter format stuff at work, which I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying shorter format stuff, but I do enjoy. I love, honestly, I absolutely love just me in the chat. I love it. Late night Leeds, I love as well. It's quite stressful having conversations and then try to, get the chat involved. But this has been my bread and butter, just me and chat. I absolutely love it. Get through, try and engage with every single chat coming up. And yeah, I think I do it quite well, so it works well. But thanks for that, Richard, mate. Wingers not providing bullets. Fourth striker, 3-5-2. Wolves play 3 at the back. So midfield will be packed. 1 striker against 3. Numbers game. 2 big men up shot. Not downs by. Yeah, I agree. I do think the 2 up top would work in this game. Like I say, they are going to play with 3 centre halves out there at back. So it could be a tough one. It could be a tough night for the DCL or a Metro. Everybody goes up there, but it's up to Farke to get it right. You know, we can argue to a blunt face about having a lack of quality in certain areas, but he has still got some jigsaw pieces there he can maneuver around to get the best out of the team. And you know, I don't like about Farke. I haven't liked his lack of change when needed. We've seen him change from a 4-2-3 to a 4-3-3. Brilliant. Will there be times though, mate, where he has to change for the opponent, you know, game by game? That's something we don't see from Barker. We've seen a total change, but I still want to see an in-game change or a game-by-game change. And you're right with this. Maybe this one is geared up more for a, you know, 2 up top. I just think, knowing Farke, it will be a 4-3-3 because that's what we play now. And Aronson will play on the right and Okafor will play on the left, barring injuries. I just think that's sort of what he does. But that may be enough. Hopefully it is enough. Folks, I really like Darlow. Has a good connection with Roden and Pascal. Yeah, he does. The Welsh connection helps. I just think, I know we saw Sheffield Wednesday one, which sort of, you know, goes against what I'm saying, but I don't think he looks very flappy. I think he's a really good shot stopper. We saw that at Fulham. He's experienced, and yeah, he just looks fairly confident to me. You know, I do think Penny will come back in a week or 2. He needs to really, if what money was spent on him. Imagine if Darlow plays every game this season now and Penny's on bench option. He's got 13 million quid sat on bench along with Bornau, Biol. Yeah, I do think it's got to work really for Penny. For, you know, otherwise the window looks even worse. But yeah, Darlow's gone from being, I think a lot of people have sort of written him off, and I've seen some content creators say we should have gone out and got a better number 2 to challenge Penny. I do think Darlow's very underrated. I do like Darlow. I mean, I won't lie. If Penny were out for 8 weeks, I probably wouldn't be moaning about Darlow start. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be looking at Darlow panicking. I don't mind the guy. I think he's all right. Richard Hogan, Harry will be on at 9 a.m. your time if you're interested. Yeah, go check out Harry the Rescue Dog. Mr. Whitesnake will point you in the right direction. How do I hype? I think you scroll right, Steve, on the comment section, and I think there's the hype box. I think you can definitely do it easily once the video goes live, mate. Sunderland sold players with a high volume, which allowed them to do so much business. We couldn't move our dead wood off the books for any money. Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? It is a shame. We can hype at the end of the live stream. You can do it 3 times per week for each of your favourite content creators. David, thank you. Hopefully I'm one of your favourites. I don't know why sat here sniffling, talking rubbish, but to hype when the live chat is swipe left and the hype comes up. I have done it while watching. Thanks so much, mate. You're a legend. 73 likes, 62 watching. Love yous, man. Class. If the 49ers sack Farke, it'll be interesting to see whether we get Big Sam or Colin. Oh, class. Kershaw, Wolves will welcome this game. They will come and attack us. We need to win. They need to win. It might help us getting behind on the break. Yeah, 100%. Like I say, Kershaw said at the beginning, didn't I? We'll look at this game as probably the easiest away game there is currently, which I think is right. And they're looking at it thinking this is probably their easiest home game. You know, a newly promoted side coming to your place. It's one of the 3 easiest games, and currently Leeds can't score for toffee. So as much as we're looking forward to it, thinking we can get that goal from open play, kickstart our season. They're on 0 points. But it's a massive, massive game in terms of 3 go down. You want to try and, get away from that group as quick as you can. If we beat Wolves, we are 7 points in front of one of the relegation threatened sides. And that's a massive gap. Yeah, it can turn around in a few weeks, but 7 points is a massive gap if you Wolves and you try to chase a Leeds United, that's a decent gap to have over the team after only 5 games who are in the conversation for relegation. Not saying it's nailed on, nowhere near nailed on, but it's a nice place to be as a Leeds fan. Paul Smith, Matty, if you get too many subscribers, you won't keep up with all the comments. You'll need to set a limit. It is something I've said before. I remember when I was, had a lot less subscribers. He used to always say that. And then up until this change in algorithm, I was getting 100, in between 100 and 150 per live, Paul. And that was too hard. Now it's come back down to about 60, 70. This is a lot easier. I was getting to the point where my lives were 2 hours to try and get through comments. Now it's probably where I want it to be, about an hour and 15, hour and 20. It's mad though, isn't it? Because I'm not really asked about numbers and stuff like that. But then you get numbers and you don't want them to go down because you feel like going backwards as well, you know. Nonto James injured, leaves that door open again for Aronson. I wonder if Farke will pick Pitt up for a possibility of scoring a goal enough play. I don't think so. Andy. Farke is starting to chill out when it comes to changes. He knows he has to adapt if he is to do anything this season. And I think he will. Maybe too late, but he will do it. I hope so, mate. Is the height for mobiles or tablets only? I think you can do it on mobiles, mate. Folks, I saw on JB's channel earlier the current wage bill. DCL tops it on 100k a week. Tanaka 25, Guru 15. Good business, the last two. Harrison second on 90k. Wow. Brutal. Get gone, Mr. Whitesnake. Top man, I hope tomorrow, Friday Night Live, will be a positive one, Matty. Fed up with all the negative podcasts. Is that just from me as well, Top Banana? It's hard, isn't it? Because the results have been negative. Or the result were negative, so it's been a negative week content. You know what Adam's like. You know what I'm like. We'll talk about the whole week. And we've also got to talk about the Fulham game. So there'll be some good bits in there. There will be some negatives in there, Top Banana. It's hard to get away from it. But then as the show goes on, we flip it then and we start looking ahead to obviously the game on Saturday. And we'll get Adam's thoughts and predictions and stuff. But I'm upbeat for Saturday. But obviously we've got to touch on the week. And there has been a bit this week where, you know, we'll get into it. But yeah, let's just hope we beat Wolves, mate. And it can all turn back to being positive. Ian Brown, if we beat Villa, Wolves beat you, 6-point gap between us. Talk about bridging the gap. Yeah, mate, but you've got to beat Villa first, and I don't think you beat Villa. I think this is a game Villa get the first win, mate. I do. I think we beat Wolves, and I think we're on the same points, aren't we? And your brilliant start and our shite start is not much in it. And there's too much of a disparity in wages at Leeds from over 1k. Yeah, no, there is 100k to DCL and even 15 grand. What to grow of it? It's mad, isn't it? Bournemouth looks so calm on the ball on the inside training vid. Looking forward to seeing him and be all come in when Strauch is injured, especially when we get a corner. So many. I'll be honest with you, mate. Where does Bournemouth even get minutes? You know, where? You're talking 2 centre halves need to be injured before Bournemouth gets minutes. I don't see it. What's chances of losing 2 centre halves at the same time? I touch wood that doesn't happen. But I think Biol comes in for one injured, doesn't he? And then where's Bournemouth come? I could see Bournemouth playing the same amount of minutes as Schmidt did last season, you know, because you're not going to rotate your defenders. He is 4th choice centre half, so I just don't see it. I could honestly see him getting through the season playing about 200 minutes. I don't think that's wild, but again, people will say, well, that's wasting money. But then again, you need them there, don't you? Because what do you do if you don't have that backup? Nightmare off to Hereford tomorrow for my nephew's wedding Saturday. We'll hype in the morning. David, thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely time. David Gray, this year's loving better last heaven. I love that song. Have a great time, David. At your nephew's wedding, bud. I hope it's a good one. And I hope we get 3 points. Hope you get to watch on your mobile or in bar. But yeah, have a good weekend, buddy. Thanks for watching, mate. Appreciate it. Adam getting his tactics board out to me. Right? It will be. But you know me. I don't sugarcoat out. I'm a proper positive fan. But if there's a negative to talk about, which losing to Fulham, what a negative. So we'll have to talk about the loss to Fulham, but we'll also talk about how well we played and how we feel going forward. But Adam definitely, he hasn't been on all week. I have to weigh Adam's side of it. And when you do Tuesday streams with Wayne, that's 2 fan bases, 90% Sunderland, but the numbers are so high, which sets the standard. I don't know what you mean by that. When I'm on Wayne's channel, it will be 90% Sunderland. When I do it on my channel on Tuesday, it'll be 90% Leeds. But yeah. Matty, have you had any feedback this week on your slightly different angle viewing Leeds issues with Farke and a lack of creativity? Have you had any feedback this week on your slightly different angle viewing Leeds issues with Farke and a lack of? As in, have I had any negative feedback? Have I had, yeah, I mean, I've been called out a little bit, and I've been called a Farke hater. I'm Farke out. I just need to admit it, which I won't admit. I'm not a liar. I'll say it as it is, and I'll stay true to myself. And yeah, I'm slightly concerned. I think there's some stuff he could do better. He's not totally blameless for the recruitment, because guess what? Farke signs every signing off. So if you don't think DCL is good enough, that's on you or whoever else, or you. But Farke did, because he signed it off. Farke also knew we had £100 million to spend. If we didn't offload anybody, we wouldn't be able to buy anyone else. He also he knew all that. So the Underwood did a poor job, 49ers did a poor job, and Farke did a poor job. Farke's not, you can't just give Farke a buy because we didn't sign Harry Wilson on deadline day. You can't just give Farke a buy because we didn't get Pajama back line. That's where I sort of am. I just say what's in my head. I can't help it. I've got ADHD. Just whatever's in my head, I've just got to say. I can't hide from my thoughts, so I just tell you. But some people have said I'm quite negative. I think I've had 5 people unsubscribe in the last 48 hours. It is what it is. If you don't like me, if you don't like my views, then go watch some fucker else. I'm not bothered really. I'd rather have people on here who like me as a person. They know what I do. You know what I'm about. We're not always going to agree. We get beat by Fulham this channel next week. Fucking hell, I'll feel like shutting it down. I've had a moment these last few days where I've actually had a moment where I've been like, do I even want to keep doing this? I love it, but yeah, some of the comments just not too bad, but you just feel like you're banging your head against the wall, and some people are just so dumb to it, and it does make you think sometimes, can I be arsed coming on and doing it, But then I'm here poorly doing it, so obviously I do. Same chances. Yeah, I'm thinking that as I said it, Paul. I was thinking that I was like, yeah, what's chance of getting 2 centre-halves injured? Yeah, 2 midfielders last week, 2 wingers today. But yeah, thanks for picking that up, Paul, you bugger. Farke has to play free at the back later in the season when his job is on the line. Do you not think his job's on line in a couple of games, potentially, if we don't win on Saturday? But yeah, I don't think he'll change it up like that. But I do think having Biol and Bornau there, I do think we have got the numbers to play that formation. Biol as well. Strauch is keeping out. Yeah, and that is it, mate. Strauch's doing really well. He can't drop Strauch based on it. Biol's got to wait his turn. If Biol hadn't had that suspension carry over from his time at Udinese, he would have started against Everton, and in my opinion, Strauch will still be on bench. But Biol's having to sit it out now, and this is what we want as fans. We want, Strauch's doing nothing wrong. Strauch's probably been best defender this season, in my opinion. There's not much to separate them. They only come to watch my. Cheers, folks. Getting corners is fine, but finding someone to put a decent ball in the box is another thing. Bielsa had, but didn't believe in corners or throwing sense made a ball. Yeah, very true. Very true. We should be positive, except Arsenal. No other opposition player has scored against us in 3 league games and 1 cup game. Yeah, no, I mean off the ball, defensively, yeah, I can't disagree. I can't disagree. We have looked really hard to beat, which is part of battling it. Just need to get the other bit sorted, mate. David Gray made loads of money in Ireland. White Ladder must be in everyone's house. White Ladder's a right album, innit? Love these cocky Mackhams. I hope you win Saturday. Yeah, folks. Obviously mixing channels with Wayne. Well, not channels, but having a show. Me and the Mackhams mix every week on a Tuesday, whether it's his channel, Wayne's or mine. But he has invited a few over here, and Mr. Ian Brown's here for everyone. Here for everyone. Farke can't get a free pass for transfer business. Rama is a prime example of that. Yeah, well, he's a reason Rama's not here. But yeah. Andy Rowe, harsh on subscribing. I love and agree with your opinion. Cheers, Andy. Like I say, Andy, we've disagreed in past. We'll disagree with people. It is what it is. While ever your team, sorry, not while ever, because we're not bad, but when you lose a game, it's a negative result. There will be people, and we know channels on here which are just so blindsided by the blind faith at times. Blind faith. A lot of comments, and yeah, it's just, it is what it is. Blind faith. My mate Priest says, blind faith. A lot of people have blind faith. A lot of people can't see wrong. And I will always say, Yeah, I feel this way. I can see why you feel this way. I can see why you feel this way, but this is what I think. Like, I never come on here and go, "Fuckers, you sack him. He's shit." I'm not like that. I'm just a level-headed person. It takes a lot to round me up. It's just a case of that's fucking annoyed me. That why has he done that? Why has he done this? But maybe that's why. Shit, we lost game. You should have done this. You know, who cares what I think? Apart from you, fine people, but it's not be all and end all. I'm just a normal guy who works 50 hours a week and has a family and does this as a hobby. Who really gives a shit? I don't know everything about football. Neither does any of it. No, we're just all people. We're just chatting our own opinions. We're not all going to agree. But I've had a bit of backlash this week, I won't lie. But I did last season when we had that run when we at Luton and Swansea. We had that run, didn't we, towards the end of the season where it felt like we were slipping away. Then we kicked into gear and Sheffield United fell off a cliff just in that moment. Same again. Started panicking. Again, when you don't win for 5 games, when you're best team in league, there's something to panic about. But you always have people going, "We'll be fine. We'll get promoted." Then when we do get promoted, I'm over the moon. They come back. I told you. Well, I knew we were still capable. Just I'd been to like 2-3 home games and we haven't won, and watched them, away from home and we haven't won. And obviously, what am I supposed to do? Shake my pom poms and go, "Hey, we haven't won in 5." Like, you've just got to be a little bit more, clued up at times and just see my point of view as to why I'm saying it, and not just think I'm being a dickhead because I don't love the manager like you do. He's all right. He's doing a good job, and that's where I am on it. But yeah, don't let people who don't agree with you get you down. Just ignore them and keep doing what you're doing. Cheers, Richard. Thanks, mate. Please never change, Matty, and don't ever stop doing the channel. You made an amazing family. No, Richard, 100%. I have. The community I've made unreal. The friends I've got, and yeah, people coming to clap me over the line after walk at midnight. Goes to show you everything you need to know about this channel, doesn't it? And me as a person that I've connected with people who want to come at midnight and clap me over the line at Ellen Road for 5-10 minutes of my time. Mental, absolutely mental, and I love you all. But yeah, this week's been a little bit tough. I don't get, and honestly, I know nice comments don't change that, and I can't change. I can only be who I can be, right? I make sure I set a good example for my kids and where I just am as a person, right? So I'll never do anything too drastic. But like, I am worried about doing content if Wolves lose, because all of a sudden it'll just feel like it's back to back negative. But if we get beaten well, which I don't think we will, but if we do, I am nervous. Probably more nervous for the content side of stuff than I am for Leeds this season, because it doesn't define a season. Getting beat at Molineux, it doesn't define a season. It makes things harder and stuff like that. But I'm worried about the content and the backlash, if it's another week. Because again, the people who are giving me a bit of shit this week, if we get beat 5-0 on Saturday, which we won't, but if we did, they'd still be saying I'm crazy for saying I'm not happy and it was shit, and they'll still say I'm an idiot. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Ryan Cook, cheers, Matty. First time I've been able to comment. Appreciate you coming on and feeling pants. Keep going, mate. Lots of people evidently like your content. Much love. Thanks, Ryan, man. Lovely comment. Really appreciate that. And Matty is by far the most open and honest creator. Watch his channel fly. Thanks, folks. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. Really nice of you to say. What song are we getting, Matty? I don't know yet. I'll let you know when we get to the last comment. Andy Rowe, Farke's still pressing that justification button. If you train well, you deserve a start. I think you can only be judged in game time situation. Yeah, well, I think that is. I think he's got to say that for the players who aren't getting minutes on pitch, hasn't he? Because obviously not everyone can impress on the pitch because they're not being picked. So he's got to make you think your levels in training have got to be up there to play. But we do know, if everyone's fit, it'll be the same team. But there is something in that. You should always say that, shouldn't you? If you're not training well, you don't get picked. That was at one point why Ramazani didn't get picked, and then it was because he doesn't track back and he ain't good defensively. Which, if you watch my video earlier, go check my video out earlier. Anyone who's not watched it, because I don't know if you've seen it, did a video earlier. One thing I clickbait and I don't. But I tell you what, that thumbnail probably is a little bit top heavy. Farke's lying to us. But go check that video out after this if you still want to watch a bit more content and you haven't watched my video from earlier. It's only about 13-40 minutes long. But I did a video. I went and got the actual stats and data behind the defensive duties of Aronson, Nonto, James, and Ramazani to see how much better Aronson is defensive duties, and it didn't mention like distance cover. It didn't mention pressing, but it mentioned tackles and duels and interceptions, which are all defensive stuff. There were 5 key areas, and Aronson was bettered by Nonto. Nonto defensively was better marginally. Aronson were better than James and Ramazani, but Ramazani had more tackles. It's an interesting video to go watch because we've been told Aronson's superior defensively. He isn't superior defensively. He isn't. And the difference in the attack to the other players is massive. It's huge. So that's why I would always advocate for Aronson being on bench and maybe coming on later in a game to see a game out. I get that. Him and Harrison. I think if we can get a goal, swap both wingers. That's fine. You know, I think there's a role they can play in the squad. I'm not saying the shit. On the ball, I don't think he's a great footballer. I think he's quite poor technically. Again, I think that's a balanced, fair opinion. I think he's a good squad player to bring on when the game state is we need to hold on to something. I don't think he's going to go get you a goal or an assist. Obviously, I'm not daft. He will get a goal or an assist at some point, you would imagine. Wish I'd found your channel sooner, live. Love these late lives. Oh, thanks so much, mate. I really appreciate that. You're here now, and that's all that matters. Richard Hogan, Leeds are like the house with no roof on yet. It's nearly there. Just need a few tweaks for it to come right. 4 league games in 38. 4 league games in 38 game season. Just relax. Relax. I am relaxed, mate. Slightly. Paul Smith. When we lose, we can't go quiet for a few days and mope. You keep your head above it. We can't. Yeah, that's it. You see, like you genuinely can. Whereas I come on here, I'll do a review. You know, I'm on here live 2-3 times a week. Videos most days, to be fair. I'm probably putting out maybe out in between 6 and 8 videos a day. A week. So yeah, I'm putting my head above parapet and I've got to come out and talk. So like I say, it's been a bit of a weird one having people unsubscribe and yeah, but it is what it is. You're not gonna, and people are always gonna agree. But I appreciate that. You cannot beat Leeds' passion. We are all in it for Leeds. Yeah, that's it, mate. We are so passionate. So what, as long as Leeds do the job and stay up. Why shouldn't we get carried away? We've shown our intention on off the pitch, been almost a decade. Ian, you should get carried away. You should get carried away 100%. I think you're being backed. You have been backed. I've just seen it in comments. Mr. Philip is in. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh no. Hope you're well, Philip Anderson. We'll get to your comment in a minute. I haven't even read it, but I know it's going to be like, Matty, chill out, Daniel Farke's class. You're doing a great job, Matty. I watch every podcast, but still sometimes I'll disagree with you, but that's just opinions. A lot of people just like arguing, keep it up, mate. Thanks, Top Banana. I appreciate that. Only thing you've ever disagreed with me, let's be honest, is you told me you were 15-9 and you're 24. That's it. I'm only joking. Now, thanks for that. But Rama has only played 38 mins this season. Thought Wilson wasn't good against us, and Molineux didn't look a 35 million striker. So, who says these would have worked if we had signed them? Yeah, Rama only played 38 minutes this season. John, if you're saying that proves he wouldn't have worked at Leeds, what I'll say back to that, he's only played 38 minutes this season. He played some, I think, against Barcelona the other day, but he's also in those 38 minutes created a goal. He's got an assist in those 38 minutes. None of our front men, wingers, strikers have got an assist this season. Some of them have played 2, 3, 4 games. So I don't know if that's you saying, he's only played 38 minutes. He isn't good enough. He's just, he's moved there. It's a new club. Biol, he's a good player. He hasn't played any minutes. So I think the fact he played 38 minutes isn't a damning statement for him, really. He's just getting into the system and side. But in 38 minutes, he's already got an assist. Do you know what I mean? So I would argue that probably shows how good he is. Don't get yourself down, mate. Love your streams. Cheers, John. Appreciate that, mate. If you're getting shit, you're doing something right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Paul Smith, stop leaving comments. Matty needs to go to bed. His man flu. I'm all right, mate. Don't you worry. Philip Anderson, right? Is proper sound? We get on, and then when we have negative results, you become my kryptonite, you mate. All right, Matty, mate. You are a top lad, but I definitely think you are going overboard. This is what I don't understand, Philip Anderson. Right? What am I going overboard with? Right? Let me just say it, right? Because it's so hard. It's so hard. You know when I'm like commenting on Joe's stream or whatever, right? Someone actually said today that I were being on your stream. I was commenting to try and highlight my channel. I don't really get what that means, but I was just commenting. So literally, Philip, right? I think Farke can keep us in the Premier League. I think Farke's good enough to keep us up. I think Farke, people will say Farke didn't get all the tools, all the right players. I agree with that. He signed 10 players. We haven't got enough quality. He said that himself. He decided to sign off on these 10 players. 100% he signed off on these 10 players. He's been part of the transfer shenanigans at Leeds United. He signed off on these 10. So the players he's got and he's happy with. He knew we had 100 million to spend if we didn't sell anybody. We didn't sell anybody. He could have maybe signed 8 players and the last 2 being a 10 and a right winger if that's what we needed. So he knew about that. So him not having all the players isn't just the 49ers' fault. It's their fault too. It's all of them. So that's one thing I disagree with. Farke is also to blame if you deem the market a poor window. He's partly to blame. Not all to blame, but partly to blame. Farke has set us up in a way where we are hard to beat. We're struggling for goals. That's not just on Farke, that's on the players. But whenever he complains that we've got a lack of quality at the top end of the pitch, and he chooses to keep Willie Nonto on the bench and not play him, which he wouldn't have done at Fulham, and he chooses to play Aronson, I will call that out as bullshit because you have left the player with more quality on the bench than you've chose to play. So I don't think that's anything. I do not want Farke sacking. I think he's good enough to keep us in the league. I don't think he'll be here in 2 years' time. And I do think if we lose the next 3, Philip, he'll be sacked in international break. If he loses all 3, I think he only needs 3 points out of the next 3 games to keep his job. I think that's a very level-headed, fair sort of way around how I feel about Farke. So I don't think that's going overboard on Farke at all. Like, what else am I supposed to talk about on here? Like, I've got to talk about Leeds United. Guess what? Farke's head coach, manager, whatever you want to call him, like, he's a massive part of it. Like, I think that is, to sum it up, he's not going overboard about Farke at all. At all. He's given me 2 at best years I can remember as a Leeds United fan. Barbie Elsa. It's been great. But right now, he's got 3 games. 3 games I think will save his job. You'll tell me no, wait till we get to 10 games. That's only 270 minutes later after these 3 games. 8, 16, 9, 18, 27. That was good maths, that getting. That's how I say it. And if you think that's going overboard, I've done a lot of streams on Farke, which, yeah, and you may look at it as a negative. The stream I did earlier, calling out on the bullshit of, Aronson being way better defensively than other wingers. Again, I've highlighted a fact that his defence is a little bit better than the other wingers. I don't understand what I've done wrong there. Do you know what I mean, Philip? Like, literally, if you've got a thing with me where you think I'm just Farke out, then I can't change your mind. You're one of Joe's buddies. You're always in Joe's chat. Whatever Joe says, you tend to agree with. There's a lot of people do that. But I can only be myself and say how I feel. And I think if we lose next 3, he gets sacked. Do I want him to get sacked? Not right now. If we lose next 3, maybe. I'm going to Wolves. I'm going to Bournemouth. I'm going to Tottenham. I pay me money. I go do my thing and I come on here and talk about it full of cold. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. What more can I do? I think I'm right to do what I do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not having a go, but I just don't think I'm going overboard about Farke at all, buddy. I think you can all tell Philip's pressed my buttons these last few days, can't you? John, your streams are great, mate. If people don't agree with you, then that's their issue. Keep up your content. It's great. You all have opinions. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, big time. Folks, you get signed up to the channel. All phenomenal community. My ass created. It's more than just a channel. Folks, you know that, mate. And yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, well, it's hard, isn't it? Because it is based on, the minutes they've played. But what can you do? What can you do? They haven't all played the same minutes, have they? So it is what it is. I watch a few of these channels, but to me, this is the best because it's the most honest and down to earth. You don't change your opinion every 5 minutes. I'm a Sunderland supporter. I've been for 60 years. Wow. Cheers, Steve. I can't believe you watch all Leeds content. Mad. It's mad. Like I say, I watch some of Wayne's stuff. He's a good mate of mine now, but I couldn't imagine watching, like another team's fans. I really couldn't. But honestly, thanks so much, Steve. I really appreciate it. Philip Allen, us as fans are so funny. We think we know better than a manager, bro. It's madness, but it's funny to watch. Yeah, well, I think I've just sort of said what I wanted to say then. But yeah, wish I was 24. Anyway, when it gets toxic, Leeds underperforming, a few say the 49ers can stick their new stadium. It's always on a knife edge. Of course it is. Of course it is. Leeds has always gotten toxic, especially at home. Yeah, I mean, we're just a proper passionate fan base, aren't we? You're gonna have, people arguing for, like, it's the nature of the beast. When it's good, it's bloody brilliant. When it's bad, it can be toxic at times. It can. Penny, he's got another week out, Andy, and then we'll see if he comes back in for dialogue. Evening, my mate. Yeah, that Leeds lad. I'm good, mate. Hope you are, pal. I'm poorly, but I'm all right, mate. I'll live to fight another day. I think we would all love Farke to succeed. It means we stay up, but he will make his own bed. Yeah, I agree. Richard Hogan, James Justin is probably a bad deal in this respect. Loaning a fullback would have allowed us to probably get Harry Wills. Yeah, well, that's how I sort of looked at it. I think if we'd have gone out there and got maybe the targets Farke was missing maybe the stardust, what we talked about, finishing the window with a cherry on top. Maybe we should have got that cherry on top before Cake were built. And then, like you say, maybe a couple of young loans from other Premier League sides, maybe just to bulk it out. Because, like I say, James Justin's a great player, I think, as a backup. Would probably play every week in a Championship side. If no injuries, he probably don't play many minutes. And, the age he's at and stuff, he needs to be playing minutes. So it could be a bad move for him. Because, like I say, if Bogle's fit, but for me, Bogle's our best player. Bogle, Ampadu, Rodon, probably all our defenders, really. But Bogle's our best player. I think Bogle has the potential to play for England. I think Bogle's class. Unbelievable player. So he's literally back up to the best player in our team, in my opinion. Andy Rowe, Matty, there's always someone who doesn't agree with you. I get it a lot on Jack's City channel. You just got to go and take it on this. Yeah, that's it. You can't put your head above the parapet and come on here and talk, can you? And not expect some bad comments. Like, I've had a few awful comments, but I mean, when I say a few, maybe one or two over the last 12 months. I don't know if you know as well, on the 24th, so in 6 days, this channel is 1 year old. We're 1 year old, and so I haven't even been going a year yet. Almost a year, 6 days. But yeah, I haven't had many bad ones, to be fair. It's been a really good community. I think everyone knows in here. The chat's always a positive place. Even when I'm not that positive, we can have a discussion and not lose his head. I don't ever call people out in chat. I don't swear at people. I don't ban people and tell them to F off. It's quite a chilled chat in here. But this week, being negative, feeling down about Leeds in general, and still wanting to do content's been a bit of a struggle. But yeah. No, mate, saying Rammer is good, mate. Sorry, mate. That's why I said he's only played 38 minutes and done well. Mooney's and Wilson didn't look good. Yeah, sorry, mate. I agree with that. I say Mooney's 50 million and all that. Yeah, he didn't look that sort of player. But again, a one-off game, you don't know. But I agree on everything you said there. Sorry, mate. I thought you were saying the other way, as you obviously can imagine. But yeah, he has 38 minutes and he's got an assist, so he's done pretty well. Ripper, bang on, Matty lad. But you will still be called a hater, pal. I will, mate. Philip Anderson, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But I really think you are wrong and hope you are wrong. What wrong about what? That if we lose its next 3, he'll get sacked. I say, well, you obviously, I think we stay up with Farke. So you obviously don't disagree with that. It must be you think if we lose the next 3, he won't get sacked, which I think that's madness. I think if we lose the next 3, I think he would get sacked. I can't both put in a thing in our poll. Let me know in chat. Put yes or no. If we lose our next 3, do you think Farke gets sacked? If we lose the next 3, which it probably won't happen. I think we beat Wolves and I think we get a draw, maybe against Tottenham. I think we get 4 points, which is fucking right return. I'll be buzzing with that. But if Farke loses the next 3 games, will he get sacked? Put a yeah or no. I respect you, bro, but no, I know it is, Philip. You know what it is? You're a bit like me. If it's in your head, you can't help it. You can't. If you see someone saying something you don't agree with, you'll always call it out, and I get it, mate. But I know you respect me. You always give me support. When I did walk and stuff, you'll message me and say, "Well done." I get it. We get on. You like me as a bloke and that, but like, I do think sometimes you can't see wood for trees with it, and you think same with me. So we'll always disagree when Leeds lose, I think, pal. But it is what it is. As long as you respect me, and I've got respect and love for you too, bro. You must love Stone Roses, Ian Brown. Agree to disagree. That's it. Derek Smith, hi, Matty from Dublin. Keep the manager if we win, sack him if we lose. I'd go for a drink with you, Matty lad. I'd go for a drink with you too. Mate. Never an issue disagreeing. We are all here because we love the same thing, aren't we? Yeah. And you know what it is? The passion is what Leeds are known for. Our passion as fans, especially at Elmo, can drive that team on. There will be times where, it turns and, we're a bit negative to each other. That happens, doesn't it? It's only because we're passionate. Rich, even though I hope, buddy, and Richard, Bogle is class, and I think He has improved just by finding a home at Leeds. Yeah, 100%. And Farke has improved him. Farke has made him a better player. Also assume Justin was in the final year of his contract, hence why we had to sign him on a permanent. Very much the same with Wilson. Justin's flexibility probably swollen. Yeah, I agree. You know what he's talking about, you mate. I agree. Nobody dares beating the Farke out jump, but you fear it's just around the corner. I'm dreading. I mean, I can't say. You know what it is? I can only say what's in my mind now, right? If we lose the next 3, I think I will be Farke out. There's a chance that if we lose at Wolves, bearing in mind I'm stood there. You know, a lot of people. What you got to remember as well, and it's hard to say this without disrespecting everyone, because not everyone can go to games. Not everyone's geographically can go to games. Not everyone can afford to go to games. Not everyone can get tickets to games. Just because you go to a game don't make you more of a fan than someone who don't go to a game. All that, right? But I do sometimes think when you, because we'll say, won't we? Like people say, Twitter, it's not a true representation of the fans. It's not. Twitter's one, and people say this all the time. Twitter's 1% of fans, you know. So online, Twitter's online. So say like when Joe's doing a stream or I'm doing a stream, there might be, say a video gets 5,000 views, there might only be 10% of them actually go to games. You know, what's chances of 5,000 people who watch a video all going to the stadium when it holds 37,000? So like, I do think though, when you go to the games, there's a different perception at game. Like I could go to Wolves, you know, being thick of it, get beat, and the feeling, the ill feeling that the people around me have, and you know, it can be quite toxic when you're in that atmosphere, when you surround, then you couldn't just sitting at home watching it on your TV, especially maybe if you live further afield. You know, like I speak to my mate Steve, Mr. Whitesnake, and he has to go looking for Leeds content. It ain't on his lap. You know, it's not on his doorstep. So he doesn't get as affected. And I know he loves it and it massive, but you don't get as affected. You know, I live 15 minutes from stadium. I have all my life. You know, I do Leeds content. Leeds is my life outside my family. You know, it's in me. This is my front room. This is corner of my front room because I've got too many kids for bedrooms. You know, my kids ask me about football. You know, it's football's everything. So, you know, if you think I'm a little bit too much about it, it's because it's my fucking life. And if I get hyped up about it, it's because it's my fucking life. You know, I think sometimes people in certain areas can switch off. Different mindsets can park. It's all right. I aren't that bothered. It doesn't. Great. I can't do that. Can't do that. Yes. So this is to, if he loses next 3, he gets sacked. Maybe that's what I mean. I don't think it's ridiculous to say. I think I don't. If we lose next 3, it'd be 1 win in 7. I don't think we'll lose the next 3. I don't. But I think if I'm getting called out for saying that's a negative thing, by saying if he loses next 3, I think they'll pull the plug. I don't think it's a ridiculous statement at all. But I don't think we'll lose the next 3, pal. I don't. I think we'll get 4 points. I think we win 1, draw 1, lose 1. What did you make of Tanaka not liking the pressure? Goodmanson saying he loves it. Yeah, the Tanaka one, it showed a bit of a weak mentality, maybe, or just it is just something he'd never experienced before playing in Bundesliga 2. I can sort of get it. We know what it will like, try to get promoted. We know, like I say, my content swayed a little bit when we were struggling for wins towards back in the last season. It won a slog. Playing at Ellen Road, it can be so difficult if things are going wrong. So I sort of get it. Goodmanson, it's just a different mentality. Goodmanson will thrive on that pressure. Tanaka wilted a little bit, but then again, still came through, still got some vital goals in vital moments. So, yeah, and to be fair, it sort of set him up for Premier League football, didn't it, Tanaka? It's a cold as Ellen Road, Leeds United, the fan base, how big the club is. He just didn't really know it till they were in it, and I get that. Forest finished 15th with Ange. We lose next week convincingly. I think Farke's gig. Yeah. I mean, I think if we lost them all 1-0, Andy, there's still a conversation for it. But if we lose them all convincingly, I would suggest to look at it. I hope to God it doesn't happen, which I feel like I've always got to fucking say. Yeah. Losing the next 3 depends on other results around us. However, Farke would be on the tightrope at that stage. Yeah. Your games after Spurs and Burnley, reckon that match will determine his stay or not, but my opinion don't matter. No, it don't matter. Of course it matters, mate. You're in here spending an hour and 43 minutes on a Leeds stream. Of course it matters, pal. You do me texting from time to time, but, you know, so does our last, and I'm married and I love her. So don't worry about it. Not saying I marry you, Ian Brown, but, you know, maybe give you a hug. Love you, Matty, you sexy boy. Ha ha, lol. Nah, Philip, honestly, it's all love, mate. It's all love. We do get hyped up at times, don't we? But you do press me buttons, and I press yours by all accounts. But it is what it is. I'm not a dickhead, and I just say what's on my mind, man. And you're the same. I think he will get sacked if he loses his next 3, but hope he doesn't. Exactly where I am. Derek Smith, let's surprise the opposition and play just in a striker. Yeah, imagine just something totally playing melee up front. I reckon we lose to Wolves. If we lose to Wolves, he's on thin ice. The 49ers will be ruthless. They won't sit on it too much at stake. We are funded by investors. Yeah, I agree, folks. I think if we lose to Wolves and Bournemouth, they may even look at it before Tottenham game. But what I don't want them to do is, I don't want them just to sack Farke and you know, and promote his assistant to be the manager. If they're going to sack him, have someone decent to step straight in. If it's Nuno or somebody else, you know, maybe someone better. I don't have a clue. But I ain't going to call for someone to be sacked when I ain't got a better option, you know. So I will just say at some point, whether it could be end at Wolves game, I'll let you know how I feel. It could be after that. But if I get to a point where I'm not happy, I'll just say, I think it's time now. And I'll sort of leave it at that. Of course we do, Ian. Of course we do. Leeds a second to Castleford Tigers. Richard, Forest out of side who could be down around the bottom, scum too, so it's not straightforward as it has been in the last few Premier seasons. Top Banana, off to bed. See you all tomorrow or Leeds out. See you, Top Banana. See you soon, mate. 9 points from 3 matches. We can do this. Imagine, mate. Steve Riley, Leeds fans are split on Farke, out Farking, but I bet the fans of other teams in relegation fight aren't split. They're all fucking, yeah, probably are, mate. Nuno being added by West Ham. It's on Sky Sports News. This is it. Mourinho gone, Nuno gone. But yeah, it is what it is. He doesn't deserve to be sacked yet, does he? If he deserves to be sacked and there's no one available, then he maybe keeps his job. But right now, he doesn't deserve to be sacked. And hopefully, after this next run of games, he still doesn't deserve to be sacked. Because I believe Farke can get enough out of the team to stay up. But yeah, I think Nuno's a decent. A lot of people saying it'd be the exact same football under Nuno. Why would it? Nuno plays with fucking 3 at back half a time or 5, whichever way you look at it. I don't think Nuno plays the exact same football as Farke at all. The exact same. No, give over. Right, guys, an hour and 46 minutes poorly. 85 likes, 43 watching. Mint. If there's anyone who hasn't liked it, please stick a like on. Please, can you hype the video? I'd really appreciate it, honestly. And I'm just going to say it again. Probably what happened, but tell 10 people to tell 10 people. Unless you're Ian Brown, then don't tell anybody. I've got enough of you fuckers in here already. But no, make sure, respect you, bro. Cheers, Philip Anderson. You too, bro, man. You too. Please, everyone, come back for Late Night Leeds tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Bang your notification bell on. Me, Adam and Boss Nass. It will have a little bit of a negativity because we speak about the week. So we will be reviewing the Fulham game, which was good. But we will be reviewing the Fulham game, looking ahead to this game, talking about the presser. So it'll have a little bit of negative, but as the show moves on, we'll push it to a positive light because I assume we all think we'll beat Wolves on Saturday. Song, please. Yeah, I'll bang a song on to end out. Great show, Matty. Thank you. Great show. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Steve. Right. I'm gonna put a song on to play us out. So I'm going to put on. I feel like it's too emotional putting Chris and Kev on, but that's one I haven't played in ages. Right, I'm gonna put my tribute to Chris and Kev on, which feels a bit random, but I do like the song. It was a really emotional song to write as well. But I'm gonna play the Chris and Kev song because it's either that White or Gold or Marching Together, and I play Marching Together all the time. So it's a bit of a tearjerker, this one. If you haven't heard it, this is my tribute to Chris and Kev. And I'll keep clicking in your comments as the video plays. But thanks so much. Please like, please subscribe, please hype, please do all that jargon. Love you all. Thanks so much for all positive messages. Really appreciate it tonight. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow night, 10 o'clock for Late Night Leeds. Love yous, man.
They wore white with pride, hearts bold and true, chasing a dream like me and you. April's air was heavy and cold, 2 lives taken, stories never told. They left for love, not for a fight, to watch Leeds shine on a European night. But hatred struck where joy should be. In Istanbul, they were robbed of peace. You should always come home from a football game to your family's arms, to your life the same. But Chris and Kev, they never got that chance. Now angels in skies watching from the stands. We sing for you, we cry your name. April 5th will never fade. Flags at half-mast, tears on the breeze. In every chant, they rest in peace. Brothers in spirit, forever in song. What happened that night was cruel, was wrong. We walked to Ellen, rode side by side. Your face is still glowing in Yorkshire skies. In every roar, you're standing near. In every silence, we hold you dear. You should always come home from a football game to your mother's smile, to your child's name. But Chris and Kev were taken too soon under a foreign, heartless moon. We sing for you, we cry your name. April 5th will never fade. Justice may waver, but memory won't die. You're stitched in our hearts, you're the tears we cry. No away day should end this way. No badge, no love should see lives betrayed. You should always come home from a football game with pride in your voice, not shadowed in pain. But Chris and Kev, forever you'll stay in every Leeds heart, every match day. We sing for you, we carry the flame. April 5th will never fade. Two seats in heaven, painted white and gold. Gone too soon, but never alone. Chris and Kev will remember your soul. Forever Leeds, wherever we go.